they're listed like this, is it listed XY or YX? XY, right?
How can you tell?
So let's look at point K over on the graph. What is its X coordinate?
2.
2. And how do you know that?
Because X is on 1. Yeah, it's right there. It's lined up.
Yes. It's on 2, and then what's the Y?
1.
1. So we should have point K down here. Good. Alright, point L. What do we get for point L, Tara?
I got -3, 4.
-3, 4. Good. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Good. Point M, Jesse.
Oh my gosh. 3 and -2.
3, -2. Nice job. Okay. Point N, Joanna.
0, 0.
0, 0. Good. Who remembers what we call that point? Yeah, y-intercept is when the y is at 0. Good. So that's something else. What do you call it when it's at when both are at 0? When x is 0 and y is 0. Starts with an O. Origin. Good. Yeah, the origin. So most of the time that'll be at 0, 0. What if I drew a point right here, and then I had a line like a graph? What would that point be called? Y-intercept, right? And what point would that be at?
0.
0, 3. Good. Good. Okay, last point, point P. Chris, what do you think?
-2,
-2, -1. Good. Okay, I hope that was review. Okay. Alright. Let's just talk through this about the word analyze. Sentence for number 6, what word do we want to put in there, Maggie?
Analyze.
So the whole sentence.
Oh, okay. The chemist analyzed the data to draw a conclusion.
Good, the chemist analyzed the data to draw a conclusion. Good. Yes. Cameron, number 7.
Drooling there.
What word do you want to put in there? Analyze or analysis?
First.
Okay, so read the whole sentence with it.
Jim needed to analyze the data together.
Good. And last one, Jake.
An analysis of the traffic at an intersection showed the need for traffic light.
Good. So what's something we've analyzed before in this class? What? Our test scores we just analyzed, good. A problem, yeah. What kind of problem? Yeah, any problem, an equation, and what did we just do in the last unit?
Equation. Greater than or equal to.
Yeah, and what are those called?
Analysis.
Inequalities, good. Yeah, so anything like that we're going to be analyzing. So now we're going to start looking at graphs. Okay, what are the two variables being related in this graph? What is, good, length and time.
You do not see the thing.
Does everyone see where we got these? Time, length. So what would be on our x-axis? Length or time? Where do you think time?
Side to side.
Yes, horizontal, good. And then what would be on the y-axis? Length, good. So what do we think the length of the board does as time goes on? Does it increase or decrease?
Decrease. It decreases. It's like going down as time goes on.
Yeah, it's going down as time goes on, good. So you think of this starting, if we could pick any time for time 0. Say I picked, I don't know, 8:15 for time 0. By 8:30, would the length of the word be shorter or longer?
Shorter.
Shorter, good. So what do we think? Do we think it's constant or decreasing while you're cutting it?
Constant.
Okay. I want a thumbs up for constant and a thumbs down for decreasing. Yeah, constant means it stays the same, or is it constantly decreasing the whole time? Constant means it does. So thumbs up for constant, thumbs down for decreasing.
Yeah, around 0.
Okay, Maceo, tell me why you think it's decreasing.
Because like as the board's being cut, it's like it's around more.
Okay. Kobe, why did you think it was constant? Who's going down by the same period of time?
It's not. It's almost like
Yeah, it just depends. We don't have units on this, so it's hard to tell. But where do we think they're cutting it? Do we think it's when, what would this be? From, say this is 8:15, like we said, at time 0, and say this is 8:30. Has the length of the board changed? No. And how do we know it hasn't changed? Straight line, right? So if that length, like I said, we don't have units, but let's say between 8:15 and 8:30, this length was, I don't know, 20 feet. Okay? So let's say at 8:30, we cut the board, then what happens? It drops. What could it drop to? Any number. 12. Can't drop to 100. Okay, so what do we think? Constant or decreasing? No, what do you think? While you are cutting the board, that's the most important part.
So why are they cutting the board anyway?
Because the board can't just shrink on its own. If they're trying to make it shorter and shorter,
What's their reasoning?
I don't know. Maybe they're like trying to build a shed and it's too long and they have to keep cutting it shorter and shorter until it fits.
Measure twice, cut once. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yes, it is.
You don't just like randomly cut it.
Yeah,
You just gotta keep it.
Okay, let's go back to the question. Maceo, back to the question. Okay, once again, thumbs up for constant, thumbs down for decreasing. I need everyone's hands up in some form. Thumbs up for constant, thumbs down for decreasing. Don't look around at everyone else, just go with what you know. Okay, so it looks like everyone said decreasing. So where would it be? I want, Kobe, go up to a point on the board and show me on this graph where it would be decreasing as you're cutting it.
Bro, now you jumping on my board.
Go ahead and point. Right there, yeah, that's decreasing. So is that while they're cutting it?
No, that's after they cut it.
After they cut it. So what's happening while they cut it? It's constant. So think about this. So show them where they're, what the time is when they're cutting it before that decrease. Well, that's where, you said that's where they cut it, right? So
Yeah.
what's the time before that while they're cutting it? Right there, good. So it's constant, right? Because until you get that whole thing cut, it's not going to change, and then it decreases. Good, thank you, Kobe. So during the time shown in the graph, how many cuts are there?
3.
Show me on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go up to 10 if you need more. Please don't take off your shoes. 43. Okay, what do we think? How many cuts are there? Okay, everyone close your eyes with one hand and then show me with the other, so you're not looking at everyone else.
I'm gonna set my eyelash.
Okay, just lightly. Okay,
34.
Jesse, what are you voting for? those of you that said 3?
Yes.
Because are the cuts the horizontal pieces or when it drops? When it drops, right? And there's how many of those? 3. Right here, right here, right here. Good. So, there is or is not a piece of board left at the end of the time shown? Is, and how do we know that? There's still a straight line. But let's go a little further. Jeremy, so how do we know there's still a board left? I said there's still a straight line. How else do we know?
Because it doesn't hit the bottom.
It doesn't hit the bottom, which, what does the bottom mean? 0. So it doesn't hit where the length is 0. Good. So if we said this was 20 and this was 12, this could be like 5 maybe, right? Good. Questions?
Wait, 5?
I just made that up. Remember, because we said if it started at 8:15 at 20 feet, we're just showing that it's not, the length's not at 0 yet. So we could maybe say it's at 5. Okay. Alright, let's move on. Okay, I want you guys to do 11 and 12 in your groups. If you are sitting where Jesse is, so Chase, Kara, Daryl, you can leave your group. Tremaine, Maggie, and Steven, you guys are group leaders. Okay? You can leave your
I
solo
got a
group.
group, right?
Okay, I will give you 6 minutes. Stand up when your whole group is done and ready to be checked.
Okay.